with electric dreams. Circuits built to last, engines roaring, tearing past, neon highways burning bright, chasing ghosts through endless night. Cyber echoes call our name, lenses barking through the frame. Through the grid we blaze a trail, no escape, no time to fall. Threat is rising, feel the stain, power surging through the veins, pulses racing, overload, ride the system, brace for coil. Feel the surge, the currents flow, rushing fast, no time to slow, no turning back, no shutting down. We own the streets, we run the town.
I've walked 1,000 bridges before.
Digital thunder, flashing screens, drenched in ultraviolet beams. I am the glitch in your design, breaking through the borderline. Pulses raising, feel the strain, power surging through the veins. Pulses racing, broken below, lock the system, brought close. Feel the surge, the currents flow, rushing fast, no time to slow, no turning back, no shutting down. We own the streets, we run the town. Feel the surge, the currents flow, rushing fast, no time to slow, no turning back, no shutting down. We own the streets, we run the town. Feel the surge, the currents flow, rushing fast, no time to slow, no turning back, no shutting down. We own the streets, we run the town, run the town. Run the town. Run the town. minds pulse with electric dreams. Feeling circuits built to last, engines roaring, tearing past, neon highways burning bright, chasing ghosts through endless night. Cyber echoes call our name, lenses sparking through the frame. Through the grid we blaze a trail, no escape, no time to fall. Fretch is rising, feel the stain, power surging through the veins, pulses racing, overload, ride the system, brace for coil, feel the surge, the currents flow, rushing fast, no time to slow, no turning back, no shutting down. We own the streets, we run the town.
I walked 1,000 miles before.
Digital thunder, flashing screens, drenched in ultraviolet beams. I am the glitch in your design, breaking through the borderline. Pulses raising, feel the strain, power surging through the veins. Pulses racing, broken below, off the system, rock close. Feel the surge, the currents flow, rushing fast, no time to slow, no turning back.
Close Discord. What?
Hi everyone. Oh, we're on the wrong screen. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I told you to check this.
This is the wrong screen. I totally am a professional streamer, everyone. Hi.
Right.
Hi chat. How are we going? Hi Bun,
Hey, I called
welcome
it out.
in.
There's one of them. That's Model Mama.
Oh, is that Model Mama? Hello, Model Mama. Wonderful work, by the way. Wonderful work. Welcome in, everyone. So, as you can see here, today is a very special stream of a Narwhal-U lesson where not only are we learning about dolphins today, we even have Varsil here, who is a VTuber based on a dolphin. Right?
I just look down and I see the shadow. I'm like, ah!
You're like, so it's six more weeks of winter. What about these nuts? Yeah. Get shouted out, nerd. Yeah, let's get them shouted
I'm never
out.
gonna get used to that.
So actually, fun fact, Varsil actually debuted today, a few hours ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the new model. So is Var a fish? Var, are you a fish? Or are you a
No.
mammal?
Or I want to say yes, but I'm inclined to say no.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm like, I swear to God, if you do, I'm gonna put him up. But yeah,
I'm
no.
inclined to say dolphin.
Yeah, no. See, mammal. You're a mammal. Dolphins are mammals,
Right.
chat. All right, just like narwhals are. Okay. But yeah, no. So far, you know, you have designed your model based on a dolphin, which is really sick and cool. So kind of. Listen, you have a dolphin in the model. Like that is the animal
Yes.
you represent. Obviously,
Yes.
dolphins don't have, freaking guns on the back of them and all that. But so like explain to me kind of why vote chat. Wait, vote chat. Oh, are you guys? Oh my God, fish stream before GTA 6. This is not. Wow, fish stream. Wow. I don't like how dolphins jiggles. How the dolphin
What?
jiggles.
What? No. Oh, you like how the dolphin jiggles? Oh.
Oh my God, I can't read. Jesus. I know how to read. They would if they could. Seriously. Yes. No, the dolphin, yeah. But okay, sorry. I'm getting so sidetracked here. Var,
Right. Yep.
why did you decide to pick like a dolphin for your model? Because as you can see here, chat, if anyone has looked and seen, there's their previous model, which is a shark, versus their newest model, which is a dolphin. So, like, tell us the process. Like, I see your model was originally a shark, and now you are a dolphin, hybrid of some sort. Like, do you want to explain kind of where that inspiration, what your model's based on?
Well, don't laugh at this, but the reason why I like dolphins is because of the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, wait a minute. That's also the colors. Wait, aren't the Miami Dolphins also your colors?
Turquoise and orange, kind of. That's
Yeah,
also another
it's-
coincidence. Don't lean on that too much.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, that's so funny. You want to explain like where your model design, like what it originally came from?
So again, also don't judge. It was actually a character adopt.
There you go. So if you guys know what that, if you know, you know. The dolphin ate the shark. What shark is closest to dolphin? What shark is closest to dolphin? You mean this model right here? The one on the left here? So this one you can actually tell based on its tail. Because it's a shark fin versus a dolphin. Or shark fin. Yeah, a shark fin versus the tail of the dolphin. So
Species of
it's a little
shark? I have
hard
no
to
idea.
see. So no, what species? What species of shark? Beats
No
me.
idea.
I couldn't
Right.
tell you.
Shark.
It's very generic. So the tail, that's a hard one. I couldn't tell you actually. I don't know what the shark is based on. Because are these like a pre-designed model, right?
Yeah.
I see. When you guys had a poll about is Var a fish? What one?
Damn.
Oh shit!
Am
Everyone
I the
says
only
you're a
person that
fish.
voted for Mam?
Wow, that's hard. Aquatic biology with fish who claims to be a narwhal. I am not a fish. How dare you? Okay. So, anyways, dolphins. As you can see, we have Var's beautiful, wonderful model. So, Var, I know you picked dolphin, and last time we chatted, I think that was the last Narwhale-U before I had to like take a little bit of a break there for a bit. So how much do you know about dolphins? Because the last time we chatted, you thought dolphins were fish.
That wasn't Narwhal-U. That was you were playing Stardew.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay. Well, yeah, it's like you thought dolphins were fish, correct?
Well, so that was just mostly because a lot of my buddies would just call me, "Hey, fish."
Oh, they gaslit you. Okay. Don't call
Yeah.
her a fish. That's offensive. Yes, it is. It's very offensive to our kind, okay? That's okay. Like I said, a lot of people tend to think dolphins are actually fish too, so you're not the first one. Also, the fact that people were gaslighting you, I mean, I'm so sorry that they were bullying you and you had no idea. You were like, yep, that's me, I'm a fish. And I'm like, no!
Yep.
But now you're gonna learn with chat today about the animal you represent, and I hope that, this kind of course and this, stream that we're doing here in this little lesson, you develop a real appreciation for dolphins. They're actually really fascinating animals. I actually, a couple years ago, used to work at a dolphin facility, and I got to work with dolphins, sharks, turtles, you name it. I didn't get to work with the dolphins as much, but I did get to be around them a lot and learn a lot about them and teach others about them. And they're really fascinating, very fascinating animals. And not only, working with them, you kind of learn their personalities, and sometimes they can be a little bit of a mischievous type too. But they're really, really awesome. Were there any love triangles? They don't really have love triangles. They're kind of just like free love, They love everything, everybody, everyone. They're cool like that. So, what are dolphins?
Yep.
So, what are dolphins to you? Or what do you know about them? And it's okay. You can say if you don't know anything, you can say I don't know. That's fine.
I don't do good with a general broad question.
That's okay. You could be like Flipper the dolphin, like childhood things. You could be like they're these giant creatures in the ocean, or you could be like I don't know, and that's fine. So, a lot of people are like, well, what is a dolphin, right? So believe it or not, we're going to go through kind of the classifications of dolphins. Really, really cool. So there are actually 42 species of dolphins. And as you can see, I wrote aquatic mammals, and they are part of the cetacean families. And there are about 5 different ones. So there's the Delphinidae, which are the oceanic ones. So like what a lot of people think of, these are the ones that you mostly see often. These are the common bottlenose dolphins. So like that's one oceanic dolphin. Those are the ones that most people see. Then there's the Platanicidae, or the Indian River dolphin. So they live in the Indian River. There's also the New World River dolphin. I'm not going to say the names because I'm going to butcher them. There's also the brackish dolphins. So they live in brackish waters. And then there's also the extinct, unfortunately, 5th one that has, is extinct now. So these are the Baiji, or the Chinese river dolphins. So there's different kinds of dolphins. They live in oceans, they live in rivers, they live in brackish waters. There's dolphins everywhere, believe it or not. Are there any mammals with gills? No. There are no mammals with gills. And we can go over that a little bit here. So there you go. You have 5, technically 4 that are still around. So there's river dolphins, ocean dolphins. You don't have to go into the specifics, but these are kind of the specific ones. And then we'll go through kind of their classifications. So they are part of the animal kingdom, since they are an animal. So they're part of the Animalia kingdom. Their phylum is the Chordata. And I'm sure, I realized this last time. I'm like, you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about when I list out the classifications. What is a Chordata, right? So this is a phylum, and how you get categorized into this phylum is you have to possess 4 key atomical features. So, you don't have to have them like all the time. It's like throughout your life cycle, you have them. So, they're usually often found in the embryo stage. So there's the notochord. It's a type of cord that you develop. I can go into more detail about that down the road. They have to have a dorsal hollow nerve cord, a pharyngeal slits, and post-anal tail. So we as humans actually have all these 4, and we did possess all these 4. So those are like the 4 main key things that you need, and we can break that down another time. And then their class that they're part of the mammalian class, because they are a mammal. So they are warm-blooded vertebrates, and they have mammary glands and hair and hair fur, actually. And the final thing is they actually contain 3 middle ear bones. So these are kind of the 5 things. Post-anal tail stitches, also high. Now, dolphins. So this is
That's
where
what I lost me too.
dolphins... Yeah. So dolphins, they can breathe air, warm-blooded, mammary glands, produce milk, hair fur, warm-blooded, ear bones. Those are like kind of the main things. But like for mammalian, they have specifically these things. Dolphin fur coat possible. So yes. So believe it or not, so you're probably wondering and going, well, Liz, right? Var, you're probably going, Liz, dolphins don't have hair, right? That's what you think, right?
Yeah.
Technically, you're right. They don't have hair. But they do have hair at one point of their lives. That's why they get classified in the mammalian category. Because dolphins, believe it or not, do possess hair at one point in their life. They possess whiskers when they are first born as calves. So calves actually have little mustaches, little whiskers. And the reason why they have these little whiskers on their lip is to actually help find the mammary gland on the mother. And I'll show you on a graph because we'll be going through like how to identify male from female. And it's really, really easy. Very, very simple. And you can actually see where the mammary gland slits are. And that's like how they're able to find it is with these little hairs. So they do have hairs, and then eventually they drop those hairs. So, and then they never need them again. So I'm sure you're like, what?
Don't question my hair then.
Yeah, no. Yes, listen, you're a mammal, so you know it's fine. You can have hair. You're good. You're good. So now they break down even farther. So this is where they start to get more specific. So they're part of the Artiodactyla, which is a lot. I butcher these names all the time. So what this means is like, well, what is this? They have an even toe. Hoofed mammal belongs into this category, this order. And they actually are characterized by bearing weight equally on their third and fourth toes. And you're probably going, but Liz, dolphins don't have toes. They don't have feet. This doesn't make sense. Well, 50 million years ago, they used to actually be on land. Fun fact. A lot of the mammals that are in the ocean were on land at one point. Dolphins were on land. And believe it or not, they're actually closely related to the hippopotamus. They actually have a common ancestor with a hoofed land mammal. So hippos and dolphins are actually a lot closely related than people realize, which is really fascinating. So that's why they're part of this order, is because a long time ago, they were a hoofed mammal. But this was 50 million years ago. But, you know, they still part of that. And then we get to the infraorder. So this is a little bit more specific. And this is the cetaceans, or this, which is the fully aquatic marine mammal category. And believe it or not, so cetaceans, these include porpoises, whales, and dolphins. And in the cetacean category, it breaks down even more, where we have the mystichetes and the orodontal seals. And there's a difference between the two, which is toothed whale versus baleen whale. And we'll go into more detail about that. And they're in the toothed whale category because dolphins have teeth. So they got teeth, not baleen. And here you go. So here's kind of a little bit of a picture, as you can see. So you can see here the baleen whales right here, and then our toothed whales too. So here's a few whales here. So you got your pygmy right whale, gray whale, right and bowhead whale, rectals, and then you have me. There I am. We got belugas, we got, you know, sperm whales, pygmy sperm whale. Actually, yeah, pygmy sperm whales. We got oceanic dolphins, beaked whales, you know, all the different porpoises, all of these guys. So there's the tooths versus the baleen. So they split off into two groups. So the mysticetes are the ones that have baleen, or the odontocete is the ones that have bony teeth versus baleen. So, and if you want to know, like, what is baleen? Baleen is a kind of a keratin filled kind of bristles. So they think of like a toothbrush. That's the best way to kind of describe baleen. And what they do is, to get their food, they don't need teeth to chew on things, because all they do is they suck, they swallow in water, and their baleen will actually collect all the little organisms that get swallowed up from the water, and then they just take their tongue and they just lick across it, and then they eat whatever's in there. And these guys are usually pretty big too, so they don't need to like chew. Neither do dolphins. They swallow their food whole, actually, so no one really needs to. But these guys, they have a different technique because they need to eat a lot more than these guys, the smaller guys. So do you know the difference between a porpoise versus a dolphin without looking at the screen and cheating? Did you know there was a difference between the two?
Is it the nose?
Yeah, the nose, the beak is one. Yeah. So
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. A lot of people, that's like the one identifier that they can tell the difference, but there's actually more. So their size. So dolphins are a lot bigger than porpoises. Porpoises are a lot smaller. Not only do they have a shorter beak as the dolphin, which has a more protruding beak, but believe it or not, so I have done necropsies, and if you guys are wondering what a necropsy is, it's like an autopsy on a marine mammal. So that's like the difference, is we do an autopsy to figure out the cause of death for the marine mammal when it washes up. So, they're both shut up, Ellie! They're not fish! They're not fish! Shut up. So, and when we have to do these evaluations, it's pretty obvious to tell, but when they're really, really badly decayed, so you can't really tell by the way they look, or sometimes it can just be the bones are left, you can actually tell based on their teeth. So if you look here on this diagram, you can kind of see it's like more like spade shaped versus triangular, like the dolphin's teeth. And dolphin have kind of the same teeth all throughout their mouth, while porpoises actually have different teeth. So they have like molars, canines, that kind of stuff. So they have like what we have. So we have different kinds of teeth. So we have our molars versus canines, all that stuff. So we have all this kind of stuff. Also, hi Radio, welcome in. Yes, we're doing our dolphins talk this week. And it got pushed back a lot because I had stuff that happened, so I had to deal with that. But welcome in. Dolphins are larger, must be porpoise for that, right? Nice. So, but welcome in, everyone. Why'd I get yelled at? Stitches said it because you came in here and you said it back. So you're like, thanks, Stitches. So, hey, thank you for the resub, Yames. Welcome in. But that's how you can tell the difference, is if it's really gone, if there's only bones, you just tell by their teeth. And that's how you can tell, because porpoises will have kind of very different kind of teeth versus the cone-shaped, which are pointy and sharp. So
I don't know how I feel about, I read the fin size as fun size.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, they're fin too. If you can't see their face, they're fins. So they have a more kind of like triangular versus a dolphin, which has a more curve. Porpoises, though, can be kind of confused with sharks because sharks also have a very similar fin. And that's actually how you can identify a shark fin from a dolphin fin, is based on if it's got this little curve in here versus if it's like flat, straight. These guys do have a slight curve, so it is easier to tell. Are they micro dwarf dolphins? Technically, yeah. Yeah, porpoises are kind of a smaller version of a dolphin, but they are very different. Also, another thing is their social behaviors. So porpoises are kind of more solitary too versus dolphins, which are very more social. And that can also be a huge defining. Dolphins usually will hang out in what people call pods. The general definition a lot of people call is pods, which is a group
Yep.
of dolphins or whales, that kind of thing. But dolphins, I don't really like the term pod for them because they're not really a pod. Because a pod is like you have your group and you're kind of with that group like all the time. Dolphins have a very they have social groups is what I like to call it, because they may hang out with this group during this time, but then they'll go swim off and they'll actually hang out with different groups. So at different times and different years and stuff. So they go and are more social. They'll not cliques. No, they don't have cliques. They have a more complex social group. So I like to say instead of pods, you call them social groups, because dolphins don't just have their clique as Stitches. Great way of saying it. They don't have a clique. They don't stay with the same dolphins all the time. They actually will go and hang out with like other groups. Like sometimes the groups will break up and go into different groups and hang out with stuff. Dolphins are in a cult? No, they're not in a cult. They're hanging out with different groups all the time. And then they'll come back to their original group. So, but it is a lot more complex. Like that's what we've been finding out. So over the years, like people use the term pod for them, but it's not really the best way of describing it. It's very complex. So I like to call the term social groups. So they're usually in more social groups, while, others are in pods, and that's okay. So now we come down to, well, what's the difference between dolphins and whales? Because they're a part of the same category, right? And there's actually, it's pretty easy. So dolphins are technically a subgroup of whales. So they are technically a whale, but they're very small and toothed. And they are part of a subgroup. And they're very different from baleen whales because, baleen whales have, baleen plates versus cone teeth. And another way to identify a whale from a dolphin is whales will actually have one blowhole. They also differ from whales because, sorry, I said whales have one. No, whales have two blowholes versus dolphins, which have one blowhole. So whales, if you look at where their blowhole is, you'll see two little openings. And those are two paired blowholes side by side versus dolphins, which if you looked at theirs, they only have one. So that's another way you can tell the difference between a whale versus a dolphin. And then, dolphins, they like to hang out in groups. They're more social, then they're a lot faster than whales, which are a lot slower. They're usually not always hanging out in groups. They're not as social. They usually like to swim by themselves. Every now and then when they do their great migration, they'll come together and all that, but that's really about it. They're not as social as dolphins. So it's pretty easy. Dory can talk to whales, not dolphins. Yes, Dory can only talk to whales, not dolphins. Correct. We're in a cult, right? No. Okay, so now, Var, I have a question for you. Are orcas a dolphin or whale?
I'm inclined to say they're a whale.
Okay, whale. Yep, because a lot of people, when they hear orca or killer whale, a lot of people, fish, no fish, they are not a fish. Shut up. You are technically correct. You are technically correct. They are a part of, the whale group of citations. But orcas are actually technically a dolphin. And they're actually the largest dolphin in the dolphin family. So they are classified as dolphins. I love the VTuber photo for the lesson. Yeah, I had to get Trua there. So Trua is actually a dolphin. So a lot of people, it's kind of funny that we call them killer whales. And this is where it gets really funny. So yes, they are a whale, but they're more closer to dolphin. Like, technically you're right, but it's not the correct terminology. They are a dolphin. Dolphins and whales, they're part of the same group, but they're very different. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, do you love VTuber? I am a VTuber. So welcome in, Loon. Welcome in. We're teaching about dolphins today, and I'm teaching Var about that. So there you go. Now you have a fun fact you can tell people is that killer whales are actually not whales, but dolphins. Well, I mean, technically they're a whale, but they're more closer to a dolphin. Very confusing stuff. So, and that's why it gets very confusing, because of the fact we've named so many things. Am I an artist? I am not an artist. So I am just someone who is teaching the world about animals, about the ocean and the animals that live in the ocean and all around it. Also, hi, Unintended. Welcome. So, yeah. So that was kind of a trick question I threw at you because, believe it or not, there's a lot of things that are named. It's the names are very confusing because we have like 8 dolphin names that have whale in them, like pilot whales, killer whales, false killer whales, and melon-headed whales. You know, they have the name whale, and then so there's dolphins that have whale in their name, and then there's 2 other species that have whale and dolphin in their name. So, like, there's the north right whale dolphin and the southern right whale dolphin. And then you're going in there, you're like, what the fuck? What? Huh? What? So the naming can be very, very confusing. A lot of people can get very, very confused because of the names. Don't let the names fool you, okay? Why did we call them whales when they're dolphins? I don't know. I could not tell you why. Us biologists, we're weird. We're really, really weird. So, you know, like, we're super, super weird. So I can't tell you, like, at all. Like, this is just how we named it. I know a lot of scientists are starting to kind of try to, like, fix everything. Like, we do have, like, species that were like, no, these guys are technically a whale, or these guys are it's constantly changing all the time. So, like, you know, this information could be so wrong down the road. They might be like, oh, it's actually, this thing is now a whale versus a dolphin. But yeah, the naming can be very confusing. So that is very, very confusing. Which type of VTuber you like? I like all VTubers. I mean, there's not a specific type I like. Do I have a Discord? I do have a Discord. I have a Discord, I have a Discord channel, Discord server. If you'd like to join, I do have on my Twitch, I have all that information on my Twitch page. Feel free to join. As long as you are 18 and older, you can join the Discord. If you're not, sorry, you have to, you know, you can be in my streams, but you can't join the server. So, but it is there. I feel bad. I feel like bad naming of plants and animals is kind of, yeah, in the scholars who speak Latin. Yeah, there's like a 6-foot worm called the Thing. They just named it the Thing because they couldn't come up with a name for it. I'm sure she doesn't like commercial fisherman VTubers. Yeah, if that was a thing, I would be like, what the fuck? But there are commercial fishermen who actually do, you know, the right thing and the, you know, actually follow procedures and are, you know, not harmful to the ocean.
So I'm hearing don't take the fishing pole out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
No, I'm just kidding. So dolphins, you know, do they have blubber or fur? It's pretty obvious, right? We know dolphins have blubber, right? So they have a thick layer of blubber that keeps them warm so they can dive in very, very cold water. So their layer of thickness is about 3/4 to 1 1/4 thick. And that's what, you know, allows them to store energy, and also assist with buoyancy and streamlining. So they're very streamlined, so that way they can go really, really fast. They can go type of fast. So that's how they can swim fast, because they're very streamlined. And if you're wondering, well, what is streamline means, it just means that their body, the water can run over them without like having any friction. So the water just glides over them and there's no friction there. So they can go really, really fast. That's all it is. And now here's another question. Yeah. Do dolphins have scales or skin? What do you think, Var?
I'm inclined to say scales.
No, they do not.
What?
That was it's skin. Yeah, so dolphins have skin. Believe it
But
or
it was
not.
rough.
Nope. Because they're not a fish. They're a mammal. Mammals don't have scales. So they have skin, and if you ever touched the skin of a dolphin, it's really smooth. It's like a baby skin smooth, like a baby's bottom smooth. Like, you know how people are like, oh, this is as soft as a baby's bottom. It's really soft. They're super soft, believe it or not. A lot of people, like, our skin is like really not soft. You touch a dolphin skin and you're like, whoa, this is soft. Like, a lot of people don't expect that when they touch them. And that's because they're shedding their skin constantly. I think it's like every hour, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while. It's like every few hours to every hour or something like that. And that's because if you notice, like on the dolphin from earlier, they have what's known as rake marks. And we'll go into more detail about that, and I'll explain why. But yeah, because they're shedding their skin constantly. That's why it's like super smooth, because it's all nice and clean. So fish shed what?
Apparently I need to get my memory checked.
We shed too as humans. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So, can you eat a dolphin? Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's gross. Dolphins are not tasty. Ooh, excuse me. They're not tasty. So, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of fat. You know, it's just they're not worth it. So, what is like the size and average size and weight of dolphins? It does vary species to species. So, for instance, we have the smallest dolphin, which is the Hector's dolphin. They're about 4 feet long and weigh about 110 pounds versus like the largest one, which is our orca, the killer whale. So from what SeaWorld's records and what they wrote on theirs, this is what they quote. So the male orca is about 5 to 6 meters. That's about 19 to 22 feet in length. We did have a orca that was about 32 feet, is the biggest or the longest that they have on record of that. And then females also, they average to about 4.9 to 5.8 meters, or that's 16 to 19 feet in length. And then they can average, so their weight between the two is males can average about 3.6 to 5.4 kilograms or 8,000 to 12,000 pounds. And then obviously the largest male recorded was 2,000 pounds or 10 kilograms. And then the female can average, their weight is 1.3 to 3.6 kilograms or 3,000 to 8,000 pounds. So you heavy, girl. You heavy, okay? I'm just saying. We heavy, you know?
Listen. Yes, I know.
Well, you said seagulls are full of parasites. Yes. Well, dolphins don't carry parasites. Like they're clean. So that's why they shed their skin too, is to keep things from growing on them and keep parasites and stuff. So they're actually very clean. They're clean. It's just like they're made of blubber, which is just fat. So they're not tasty. Like I don't think you want to eat a steak of fat, you know? Like most people don't want a lot of fat in their steak. Hi James, no. Welcome in. Since they shed, are dolphins snakefish then? Since they shed, Stitches, humans shed too. We're constantly shedding our skin as well. Oh my god. But other than that, between the biggest and smallest, they usually roughly average between 6 to 12 feet. Um, that's usually, some can be shorter, some can be larger. Usually the ones that are offshore are larger than on like close to shore, coastal ones or estuaries. So we don't know what mean. You don't know what mean. It's just humans shed too. Like that doesn't mean we're snakes. Like snakes aren't the only thing that shed, and also they shed like one big thing versus us and them, which like it flakes off. Like that's just all it is. It's just flaky. It comes off like human skin.
Like we shed like what, like skin cells
Mhm.
practically.
We do, and so do they. So do you know where most dolphins live? Where do you think they live? Without looking at the sheet.
I was like, can I say ocean?
Yeah, that's an answer. Yeah, ocean. So yeah, you're right. They live in the world's seas, oceans, and some rivers. That's where they usually hang out. Some species prefer coastal areas, others prefer shallow, but a lot like to live in shallower water or further out to sea. So they're usually out there. And then, fun fact, orcas are actually the only dolphin that live in the Arctic and Antarctic. So, and what's really great is their large size, because they're really the biggest dolphin. They actually have more protection against the harsh cold and freezing seas. So,
Yep.
Yeah. And then mostly like where you're gonna find dolphins is most other dolphins other than the orcas, they prefer tropical and temperate waters because for them, remember, one of the features, one of the 5 things that makes a mammal, warm-blooded. They're warm-blooded. So, and because of that, they have an easier time to regulate their body temperatures within these environments. So they're able to keep themselves cool or warm or whatever. So that's why you can find them pretty much like anywhere. Like you can find them really up north or really far south. But they're not going to be found in like the really harsh areas like the Arctic and Antarctic. So, and this was all quoted by the uswhales.org because they said it better than I could. And I was like, wow, this is really good information. So here you guys go. And can dolphins live in freshwater? What do you think?
Judging by how some are in the river, yes.
Yes, correct. You're right. Yes. So there are some dolphins that can live in the rivers. These are actually known as river dolphins. So there's the Amazon River dolphin. So they're found in the Amazon River. There's the Ganges River dolphin. They only live in freshwater, rivers and lakes. And they are nowhere near the ocean. They will not touch any brackish water. Like they are strictly freshwater. And they're considered, and because of that, they're considered the true river dolphin. Because they will not go near brackish water. Amazon River dolphin can be in brackish waters. Not super like their favorite, but they're there. And then there's another type of so-called river dolphin. And these guys are a population of marine dolphin species who permanently live in freshwater rivers. And they're like different types. So there's the Tucusi or the Sotalia, the Guania, and the Irrawaddy dolphin, and the finless porpoise lives there. So these are all the types of kind of, river. They're a population of like they're freshwater populations of marine dolphin species. So these guys, most of them live in the like out in the marine water, so in the salt water, but specific groups of them will like live in freshwater only. It's like fascinating. So, you're like, wow, who would have thought, right? You didn't expect that, did you?
Maybe.
And, dolphins are considered a keystone species. Do you know what a keystone species is, Var?
I'm just fascinated that it has the pronunciation for keystone species.
Yes. Yes, it does.
But also no.
So you don't know
Oh,
what a key okay, so a keystone
I
species,
figured it out though.
they play a very crucial role in maintaining their ecosystem. So if you were to remove them, it would drastically affect the ecosystem. So they play a very, very crucial role. And dolphins are considered a keystone species because they help maintain the marine and freshwater ecosystem balance because they are the top predators. They're up there with the top predators. A lot of people go, well, there's sharks out there. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think you understand, though. Dolphins versus sharks, who do you think's going to win?
Dolphin.
Yeah, dolphins. Believe it or not, chat, dolphins can actually take out a shark. And a lot of sharks are actually afraid of dolphins because they know, especially orcas. They are the great white fears a orca, which is a dolphin. So that is another thing. And kind of like why dolphins keep crime rate high. Yeah, sure. Yes, they keep the crime rate high. Yep, that's why they're important to the ecosystem. So pods will screw up a shark. Yeah. Well, we don't call them pods. Remember, dolphins are not in pods. They're in social groups because they're not quite pod-like. I learned that because I used to also say pods. I was like, yeah, dolphin. Look at that pod of dolphins, and that's not the correct terminology for them. Even though a lot of people still use it, it's social groups. So because dolphins won't hang out in the same clique, they actually go to different groups. Their social dynamic is way more complex. They have a very complex social system. So dolphins are a gang. Not really. Not really. They don't hang out in like a specific group all the time. They'll like hang out with a group, then they'll split up, go to different groups, hang out with them, go to a different group, and then they'll come back to their original group and all that. So they're very, very social. They're like humans. Like we have our group, and then I have my other group of friends, and it's like all that. Like I have my online group of friends versus my real life group of friends. That's kind of how it is with dolphins too. Like they have their different groups, and they go around and hang out with all of them. So there you go. And so why, like, so being a top predator, what this means is they regulate prey population, so they make sure certain prey items don't overpopulate. That's like really, really important. Their biggest diet is fish and squid, so they really keep those factors down. And also like seeing them around means, it's an indicator of a healthy ecosystem. So it's a good sign. If you see dolphins, that's a good thing. So, and what do dolphins like to eat, right? So they're opportunistic and they're carnivores. So they mostly eat, as I mentioned in the last PowerPoint slide, they eat fish and squid. But they do have a variety of diet as well. So they, depending on their, species and habitat, but they're mostly eating fish and squid. And their common source of food, they like mackerel, herring, cod, mullet. And occasionally they'll eat like crustaceans as well. And sometimes on occasion they'll eat small mammals or seabirds. So seagulls, they'll eat them. It's pretty bad. Actually at my last job that I worked at, the dolphin interactive place that I worked at, Marineland, Dolphin Adventure. They had a seagull that used to like be an asshole, and it would like try to like steal the dolphin's food. And one time the seagull thought it could grab it, and oh boy, did that dolphin that day. It calculated, and that seagull got slammed. Like, it didn't die. It was fine, but it definitely, like, after that, it flew off pretty battered, and it ran. Like, we never saw that seagull again. Like, it was an asshole, and that dolphin slammed to the ground. Also, hi, Zeri. Welcome in. I went to Marineland for a field trip, and too short for the rides. for the rides, Marineland, I was like, oh yeah, there's multiple. So this one's in the one I worked at was in Florida. So it's a lot different. And these guys, on average, they eat about 4 to 9% of their body weight daily. So, you know, it's a pretty good amount of food. So Hitchhiker's Guide was true. Yeah. So that's their diet. And dolphins, though, do you know how they catch their prey?
Sonar.
Do you know what it's specifically called? I'll give you a hint. Bats use it. With their mouths? Yes, they catch their food with their mouths, but they have a special... It's okay. It's called echolocation. Yeah, echolocation. So
Did my
dolphins...
mic not pick that up?
Yeah. Listen, it is a biological sonar, so you were on the right trail. You were right. So they produce a biological sonar where they can see with sound. So they emit a high frequency of clicks, whistles, like that kind of stuff. It's like clicks, whistles, and there's another term that I can't think of right now. But they do different kinds of little clicks and whistles through their nasal passages. And the fun thing with dolphins is, so this part of their head right here, so the forehead, it's very squishy. And this organ right here is called the melon. So dolphins have a melon. It's a literal fatty organ that sits in the forehead. And it's called the melon. And it allows, like, the sounds to go through this melon, and it shoots out, and then it bounces off of all the things around it, and then it will come back and go through that through its actually, fun fact, the lower jaw of a dolphin is actually hollow. So it's hollow, so it's not solid. And the reason why it's hollow is because when the vibrations come back, it goes through the jaw, and you can actually hear. It can pick up, like, what the vibrations mean. So that's how it can tell them, like, allows them to detect and identify and map out their environment and find where the food is in murky water, is they get that information back through their jaw. And it's really fascinating. If you hold a dolphin jaw next to your ears and you, like, tap, like, you can actually, it's crazy. Like, you can hear really well. It's really loud. So dolphins are not fish, they are bats. Yes. Hi, Don. Welcome in. Welcome. So yeah, so that is, they use the melon to produce, like, to send these sounds out, and it comes back through their lower jaw, and then that information goes to their brain, and that's how they can figure out what's where and all that kind of stuff. So that's how they can find around. It's really fascinating to see that. But yeah, they have a organ known as the melon. So, you know, you got two melons.
I'm waiting for somebody to comment on something.
How you got 2 melons?
No. No. I'm showing off the bunny ears. I'm waiting for somebody to say something.
Yes, put on the bunny ears when I shut up. Oh, is this the person that you're
This
telling
is
me
one
about?
of them.
But yeah. So, you know, Don, I'm just telling you, now you can be like, hey, Var, you got 2 melons. You know?
What?
I mean, it's accurate. Dolphins have melon. They have a melon in their forehead, but, you know.
No.
Hi, Oblivion! No. But you're special because you got 2 melons. That's how you echolocate, you know?
Liz.
Yes.
No, Donra calls me fish.
Ah, you're the one who gaslit Var to thinking they were a fish. But now you can be like, yeah, I have 2 melons to help echolocate my prey.
Hold on, let me check.
Oh man.
No, aerodynamic.
There we go. Okay. But yeah, so there you go. Fun fact about how they get their stuff. Now, okay, I had a sneak peek there.
Okay.
Do you know how dolphins drink fresh water? How they get fresh water? Because they're in salt water, right? So how do they get fresh water? Bar's like, I don't know.
That was the best use of my shrug I could do.
Listen, it's okay. Magic, yes, magic is how they get it. Built in, no. They eat fish to get water. Correct, Sir Big Cat. So dolphins actually get most of all their fresh water from their diet. So when you think about it, right? How much are humans made out of water? Right? We're about what, like 70 to 90% made of water. I forget what the exact percentage, but humans are made up of mostly water. That's the same with fish and squid. And fish and squid have a high moisture content. So they have about 70% of their body is made out of water. So that's actually how they get their fresh water, is through their diet. Because they're mostly made out of water. And not only that, they can also do this really other cool thing. It's called metabolic water. And it's pretty much what happens is they break down the fats and carbohydrates from their food, and their kidneys are like really crazy, and they're adapted to like conserve like water and like produce like very concentrated urine. So that way they don't have to drink salt water. So yeah, they can hold on to water if they need to. So it's fascinating. Why doesn't living in water make them not salty? Like their attitude, their personality. Is that what you're asking? And remember, I mentioned those rake marks here. So you can see on this dolphin, if you look really close, I know for you, chat, it's a little harder to see. But if you see here, there's like these little marks on this dolphin. It kind of looks like if you took a rake and you like scraped it across its skin. What happens is dolphins actually will use their teeth and they play with each other. So they'll like actually go and like scrape. And that's what creates these rake marks on them. So that's why some dolphins look like that's why they shed a lot, because their skin is constantly like being torn apart. Sorry, wouldn't fish living in saltwater have a high salt content in their bodies? Nope. It's not. Believe it or not. And we can do a topic about that another day. Okay, why not? Okay, so do you want me to talk about it now? Oh god, okay.
Oh gosh.
Oh god. Hold on. So
the teacher's not prepared for this.
Yeah, my brain is quick note. Yeah, I know. Give me 1 second. We're also gonna have ads hit, so because ads are about to start soon, I also want to probably do a little quick break here. That way you guys don't miss any information. To my people on YouTube, this is also a time for you guys as well to take a break, grab some water, get a snack, use the restroom. That way also Var here can also go and get a quick break into. But let me get you that answer. I do remember some of it, but I want to make sure I get it correct, because I'm like, because it's been a hot minute. A lot of this stuff is like stuff I knew way back then. I'm like, how does this do this again? Like, how does this work again? And it could have changed too. But it's mostly like, from what I like, if I'm remembering correctly, we can talk about it in a little bit, but I just want to double check. So anyways, we're gonna go on a 3-minute break and we'll be back. All right, everyone, sit around and we'll continue here in a little bit, okay?
Never ready.
Never ready. Never ready at all. All right, chat. Welcome back from the ad break, or as I like to call the self-care break. So Khan, I don't know if you're still there, but I did double check and I was correct. So to kind of explain why like fish living in saltwater don't have a higher like salt concentration in their body is well, there's a process. I don't know if you know of osmosis regulation. So that pretty much what that means is it ensures like their internal salinity remains much lower than their surrounding salt water. So there's that. And then also marine fish, they constantly are drinking seawater, but because they have gills and kidneys that are like really, really good, it's constantly like excreting salt. So because of their kidneys and liver, it excretes that salt a lot. So that's why they have a lower like salt concentration in their bodies, because they are designed to process salt water and turn it into fresh water. And that's because they got the wonderful thing called gills and kidneys. So that's why, and then osmosis regulation, which is like a whole chemistry thing. It's very fascinating. If you look up osmosis regulation, you can learn a lot about it. It's cool. It's cool stuff. But yeah, that's why they have a much lower like salt concentration in their bodies. So hopefully that answered your question. And you know, there you go. There's a fun fact. Now you know about fish too, like a fun fact about them. So, you know, I have worked with, you know, dolphins a while, and some people wonder like, well, Liz, like, how do like, especially dolphin trainers, right? They know each dolphin by name, right? So why do they bring up, you know, a name? Like, how do they know what dolphin is what, right? That's a lot of questions a lot of people ask is like, Liz, how did you know this dolphin from this dolphin? And believe it or not, there's a really awesome identification system. It's a very non-invasive technique, which is awesome. And it's called photo identification. And what this is using is the notches, so there's, or not notches, their dorsal fin and their tail fin, their fluke fin. You can actually identify them based on those two areas because they'll have little nicks or notches or scars. And these kind of act like a fingerprint. So a human fingerprint. So no fingerprint is alike, right? They're very different. Same with dolphins with their fluke fins and their dorsal fin is they're not going to have the same scars. Each one has a very identifiable way of telling what's what. And you can literally take a photo of those and that's how you can figure it out. Image recognition software is also acceleration identification via this. Yeah, but I can look at a dolphin and I can go, oh, this one's this or this one's this. So that's actually how you identify a dolphin. And I'm actually going to show you some dolphins I used to work with. So fun fact, we're going to go and see some of the dolphins I worked with. So this here, this girl, this girly girl, this is Cacique. Now chat or VAR, why do you think I know who Cacique is? What is an identifying factor? What would
one notch on the tail fin?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So chat, if you can see here, where were your last job? So my last marine job was at a place called Marineland Dolphin Adventure. But Cacique here, yeah, has a notch right here, this little like V notch on my boy, my baby boy. I love him. And he has a very rare way of identifying him. And I can tell you right now, chat and VAR, you're gonna know right away. You're gonna be like, oh, I could tell this dolphin apart from anyone else. This is Yak.
Oh.
What's going on with him? How can you identify
The
him?
bent snoot.
Yeah. So his protruding beak. So give it a moment, chat. It normally disconnects. Oh no. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh no. We lost it. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back, Sir Big Cat? Do you want to say reset? Make sure can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me in chat? Sometimes my thing. Do dolphins have a capacity to recognize a name given to them? Yeah, kind of. Not. I mean, they. You can't be like, "Come here, Zach. Come here." It's commands. So you have to do different commands. So you have to do like different commands to call them over. So they don't really recognize by like you calling out to them by their name. And I'll go into more detail about that. And it does, but it brings up another. I'll ask another time. Oh, you have another question about the fish, the osmo regulation, or how like they can process it with their gills and kidneys. Feel free, Con, if you want to ask. Or at the end of this class, you can keep whatever question you have. I'll ask that in Discord. Okay, cool. But yeah, Zach has a very curved beak. Protruding beak, and so this is not very common, but it does happen. And the reason why I want to show Zach, Zach is also a very big boy. Like you could see him and you're like, oh, that is a big boy. Like he's chonky. But also the story with Zach is when Zach was being born, he actually broke his snout because it got stuck. Like the way he was being birthed wasn't correct, and he actually broke it. So that's how it formed, because it broke trying to come out him trying to come out of the womb. He like got stuck and like broke it. So yeah, but that's like a rare case right here that happens. Another thing to note, I know this picture is really blurry. I do apologize. This is the best I could get for but you may notice here he's missing teeth. So dolphins only have one set of teeth their entire life. So if they lose a tooth, it's gone forever. And Zach is about like, he's now like in his like 30s. He's like 30s, early 20s, early 30s. So he's pretty old, and this is natural. Like their teeth, you'll notice like his teeth are much more flatter, while the younger ones will have more sharper teeth, and that's just because wear and tear. So they do grind down over time. They do have a dolphin named Betty who's like 62. She's up there in age. She's actually close to she's gonna I wonder if she's gonna break the record as the oldest dolphin. She might beat Nellie's record, and Nellie's a very famous dolphin, and she's the oldest dolphin. She lived to be like 64. So how long do they live for? Out in the ocean, not very long. They live about like 8 to 10 years. And then in human care, they can live about 20 to 30 years. But we have like, they have a lot of dolphins that are over that limit. Like Zach's like, you know, he's in his 30s and he's doing fine. He's healthy as ever. So, and then they have Betty. And then this is Dazzle. So it's pretty obvious like what's going on with Dazzle. Yeah. So what is it with her?
I mean, you're really kind of focused in on that fin notch there.
Yeah. So the best way to tell Dazzle apart, this is how I learned, is that there's like a D in her dorsal. D for Dazzle. Someone had a nibble. Yes, someone did. So she's got this like D kind of notch. So that's how you can tell Dazzle apart. So there you go, chat. So now you can look at his little face. She's so cute. She has a son named Sunny who's there, and he's I think no, it's not that. Sorry, no, Sunny is not her child. I forget. Kasik is her child. I think Kasik is her child. Sunny is Nellie's child. That's what I'm confused. But yeah, so here is Dazzle. So that's like you can see, like once you find that specific like notch or mark or whatever it is that you can identify. And that's why you want to identify by the nicks and marks like in their dorsal fin versus the rake marks. So those marks that you see that, like I said, the rakes, those will eventually go away. So those are only temporary because their skin's constantly shedding. So of course that mark, that teeth mark that's on them will eventually fade away. So it's not a great indicator. That's why you want to always do the dorsal, the flukes. That's the main way of identifying them. Now, my favorite part. How do you tell males from females, right? So this is a really cool graph, and it's always fun because this is, you know, a fun little thing. So dolphins, fun fact, have belly buttons. So they have an umbilical scar because they had an umbilical cord when they came out. So dolphins actually do have belly buttons. Crazy, right? And the best way to identify males from females is actually, it's really simple. Males are just going to have this one slit right here. And then they have a slit down here, a little one, and that's their butt. And this is, you know, their area. And then females, they have what looks kind of like a division sign here. So they have this really big slit, and this has both their genitals and the anus, so their butt. And then they have their mammary glands on each side. And the best way how I like to look at them, I ask them what they want for dinner. This is a division sign. It looks like a division sign. So that's how you can tell males and females apart, is based on, do they have these two little slits on the side, or is it only one slit? So that's how you can tell a dolphin if they're male or female. So there you go. Isn't that really cool? Learning. Yeah, you're learning. So far, are you male or are you female? We'll never know. Do they have the division slit, or do they have the one little slit? We'll never know.
I can tell you have a belly button.
You do have a belly button. That's true. Also, thank you for the follow, Celia. Thank you. I hope I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna butcher it. Can dolphins ever be both? I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Very good question. So you got it right? Yes! Yes! Okay.
I cheat. I just call her Rat.
Oh. Smart. Now, unfortunately, as we always do, dolphins are, many of their species are unfortunately endangered, and others are very threatened or vulnerable. So it does suck. Unfortunately, dolphins are on the decline. Several species, mostly the river dolphins or the vaquita, are on the brink of extinction. There's very, very few. They are very, very rare. If you see a river dolphin, that is like really, like, go get a lottery ticket. Like, that is extremely rare. Extremely rare. And then based on the keyed endangered dolphin status, so the IUCN Red List and the ASA list have numerous species. So that's just like a short term of like they're endangered, all that, like the Endangered Species Act. And the IUCN is, I forget what the abbreviation for that is. But this includes not only the dolphins, it includes the humpback, the Atlantic humpback dolphin, the Maui dolphin, the South Asian river dolphin, and the Amazon river dolphin. So, and then as we mentioned before, the Chinese river dolphin is fully extinct, so they are functionally extinct. And then the most endangered, as I mentioned, the vaquita, is one of the most critically endangered marine mammals in the world. And if you see one of them, that's like crazy luck. They're very, very rare. You know, unfortunately, Var, this is what could happen to you. You could be caught on fishing gear. So
good luck.
Commercial fishing nets, you know, traps, trawls, long lines. What happens is a dolphin sees a tasty fish. It goes and it snatches it and it gets hooked. And the problem is that dolphins, as we mentioned, they need air to breathe. They don't have gills, so they can't filter water. They can only be down there for X amount of time. And the unfortunate thing is that these commercial fishing boats, they won't pull up the line for hours. So unfortunately, if a dolphin gets snagged and tangled, it can't move. It's stuck. It's going to be pulled along, and it's not going to be able to get air to the surface. They unfortunately drown. So you have that to look out for. You also have to look out for habitat loss. You know, dredging, coastal development, land reclamation. This destroys habitats for dolphins. A lot of river dolphins, it's a lot of dam construction, water diversion, fragment, population destroys ecosystems. So you could lose your home, and then without a home, you're kind of fucked. Excuse my language. You're screwed. So, you know, you're kind of without a home. So good luck. Also without food. You have to look for your food. So you could die of starvation. So that's another option you have. Pollution and toxins. Another way you can die is you could eat plastic, which fills up your stomach, and then you feel full all the time. And then you're like, oh, I don't need to eat. And then, please feel, oh, they're not watching anymore. Am I too boring for them? I know this is a lot longer than normal. And obviously eating plastic, it can cause injuries too. And then there's chemical, pollutants and agricultural pollutants. So that can have a lot of heavy metals in it, and heavy metals can affect reproduction rates and weaken their dinner's over. Gotcha. So that weakens their immune system. Yeah. So, obviously it can expose them to, you could either, die of starvation because you ate plastic, or you can, eat a lot of heavy metals, which causes you to have a lower reproduction rate, so you won't be able to reproduce. Or you just die of sickness because your immune system is not working. Another way you can die.
Don't nod at the fact that I'm catching a cold.
Mm-hmm. That's because you're a weakened immune system. Another thing, noise pollution. Believe it or not, ships that have sonar, and that's why the pings of sonar, it's so loud it can actually blow out eardrums. And what's really bad is all this noise and stuff, it can actually make it hard for them to use their echolocation, because there's all this noise coming back that it kind of drowns out their echolocation, so they can't figure out where their food is, where they're going, and they can end up beaching themselves. That can happen. Another thing, climate change. Waters are getting warmer. Food is gonna kind of go all over the place. It's gonna go, and it's gonna be harder for you to find food, because food is also leaving. Rising water temperatures. Water is warming. It's not a good thing. And then also warmer waters, especially in Florida, increases the chances of a toxic algae bloom. If you've ever heard of red tides, they are awful. I experienced one where I could walk out when I was at college. I walked out of the car into it wasn't even 5 minutes, and I was coughing up my lungs because it was so bad. So imagine a dolphin trying to do that, right? That's going to be very, very harmful. You breathe in a red tide, it's awful. It's awful if it's really bad. Even it affects humans, and if it can affect us, it definitely is affecting them, and they have to live in it. So that's another thing. Dumb dolphins just use DoorDash. Yes, I know. unfortunately, certain ones are hunted and culling. So hopefully, Var, you aren't one of those species that are being internationally hunted.
I'd like to see him
Because
try.
you can eat them, but mostly they're used for bait as well. And then also a lot of people kill them because they are in competition for fish. Because, dolphins are going to try to eat fish. And humans are upset that they are trying to eat their food, the same food that they have to work with. So a lot of times, a lot of people will kill them because they don't want to be in competition with them. So, there's your many ways to die, that you could die. Isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice thing to hear about?
Wah.
You're like, no, please, no. But there are ways we can help them. There are many ways we can help them. Reduce plastic pollution. Wow, the same thing we mentioned again. Wow. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, and refuse plastics. Support sustainable fishing. So purchase dolphin safe like tuna or sustainable seafood guides. So like avoid supporting fisheries that are like, not following rules to making sure that dolphins, turtles, sharks, all that are getting caught. Help, out these fisheries that are doing the right thing. Support them, avoid the ones that aren't. Another thing, follow proper viewing guidelines. Obviously, never touch a wild animal. Same with a dolphin. You do not want to touch dolphin because they could decide that they want to kill you. They may want to be like, you know what, you're gonna die. They are strong. There is a fun little thing in dolphins. Let me go back here a little bit. Right here, all along their back from their dorsal fin all the way down to the tail fluke, there's a muscle here known as the peduncle. That's what allows them to shoot up into the air. It's a funny word, peduncle. There's another fun fact for you. It's a silly word, but it's a muscle, and it's a very strong one. Yeah, don't touch dolphin because dolphins may want to touch you. Exactly. Be responsible. Never touch an animal. And especially they can bite. And dolphins actually can bite hard. I literally watched one of the younger ones. God bless Serge. When I worked at the Dolphin Marine Lab, Serge was really getting upset with Ollie because Ollie was trying to mess with his toys while they were doing a program. And unfortunately, one of the guests there got his hand bit and it was bleeding. So, yes, they can hurt. Even though it was a light bite, it wasn't a hard bite, it still broke skin. Like, don't fuck with them. They are really dangerous. All right? Like, respect the animal. Respect them. Another thing that we can do, reduce chemical runoff. Don't use fertilizers, pesticides, all that stuff. We've already mentioned this before. Another thing you can do, participate in cleanups. Whether you're on the waterways, even if you're not in the waterways, even if you're in a landlocked area, doing cleanups, because that trash will end up in the ocean one way or another. Doing cleanups and removing, plastics, trash, all that stuff. You are helping saving an animal. It doesn't matter what animal, you are helping them, That is a huge, huge thing. If you plan on finding a dolphin, do it on dry land. No, they're really tough. Like, for us, when we have to, bring them up out of the water to do, health stuff, we have, 10, 12 people holding a dolphin down to make sure it doesn't, flail. They're still very strong. And then, of course, support conservation efforts. If you can donate or volunteer. I know right now we're in very hard, times, economic times. I know money's tight for a lot of us. Go and volunteer. Do it for free. Help these organizations out. Here's a great one, the Wild Dolphin Project, Dolphin Projects, or, any local stranding network team. I know a lot of teams. I know in the Northeast, they have, IFA. and they are always needing people for help. And not only is like you should go in and you can be part of the fun stuff, like the fun things, like going out and like releasing a dolphin or helping a dolphin when it gets beached and all that, and it's really nice. But also be a part of the necropsy team. Get involved with being involved. I know if you're squeamish, don't do it. Obviously, if you don't like blood and guts and things, definitely don't go in the necropsy side. But doing a necropsy is very educational. These guys can teach you a lot of cool facts about them. Dolphins have a really cool system where they have this beautiful work, a fan of their blood vessels. And the coolest thing is they did it in a way because the males have their genitals tucked up in their body. And of course, like for sperm and any animal, warm temperatures is bad. Like having a hot environment is not good, and that's why most males have their genitalia sticking out and hanging out. Dolphins have theirs tucked in. They can tuck it out, but they tuck it in mostly because that's how they can swim. There's no friction. But because it's tucked in there, it could get warm, and that can lower the sperm count. So how they prevent this is with their blood vessels, and they have the cold blood go around there, and that's how it keeps it cold, which is really fascinating. So you learn stuff like that. Like I learned that fun fact when I was doing necropsies. And then you can also learn like why these specific dolphins or porpoises or whales, why they died, or even seals or sea lions. You can learn about why this animal died, and then maybe that can help you figure out a way of what can we do to help these animals. If you're noticing a pattern, you can work on fixing that. So I always highly recommend doing necropsies if you ever have the chance to. Get involved, be involved in your community. It's a great way to help not only the animals, but yourself. You're helping yourself at the end of the day. And then, of course, if you do see a distressed animal, one that is like stranded, entangled, injured, report it to the proper authorities. Don't call your local police or anything. Look for, like I mentioned, those like specific marine mammal rescue groups. They know what they're doing. You don't want to get near an animal. You don't want to get too close because they could be carrying diseases and things like that. You don't know why that animal is on shore. They're going to have the proper gear and stuff. Like we wear masks, gloves, things of that sort when we are dealing with these animals, and we also know how to deal with them and not get ourselves bit. So very, very, very important. Call the right proper authorities if you think an animal is in distress. Even if you don't think it's in, like, sometimes the animal looks like it's in distress and it's not. But listen, it's good that you called anyways, because it's important. Because if you didn't, if you thought, oh, well, it's not actually, that animal could die, because maybe it is. Maybe there is something wrong. Never feel bad for calling. We always appreciate that when you guys call. And of course, be a responsible boater. Boats kill dolphins. Can prevent a boat strike, The same thing with the manatees. Let's, be mindful. Follow the rules. Follow the rules, okay? So that is another important thing. They even exist in the UK due to the stranded whales. Yeah, yep. So, all right, chat. I had to pull this quote, and I quoted all of it because I needed you to read this, okay? And I'm going to read it word for word because you need to hear this. How are dolphins different from fish? That is the exact quote from their thing, okay? Dolphins vary from fish in number of ways. Both dolphins and fish have adapted to live their whole lives in the water. Both have streamlined bodies and fins. But dolphins are mammals, and so they need regularly visit the surface to breathe air to survive. Otherwise, they would drown. Fish, on the other hand, extract oxygen from the water. They do not need to surface. Dolphins evolved from land mammals whose legs were underneath their bodies. As a result, dolphins' tails move up and down as they swim, whereas a fish's tail moves from side to side. Dolphins are warm-blooded. They have blubber to keep them warm. Fish are cold-blooded and are able to adjust to different temperatures of the water without the need of body fat to keep them warm. Most species of fish are also known to lay eggs and can lay hundreds of eggs in a single year. Dolphins give birth to a single baby once every 1 to 6 years, and then they feed their baby's milk through their nipples. Y'all now know which of our. If you need this quote, I can send it to you. I can send you the link. I can send it. I can send. This is quote to quote from uswhales.org. Their word to word. Okay.
Okay.
So if I vote I kill dolphins, looks like I'm telling my wife another thing. Wow. You're out. But there is a difference between dolphins and fish. Okay. I couldn't believe I saw this and I was like, I need this. I need this. Okay. Now onto the fun facts. So, fun fact. This is the everyone's favorite Puff Puff Pass, baby. So, dolphins, when they're teenagers, fun fact, dolphins are kind of similar to humans in like the things that they do. A lot of human teenagers also like to dabble into some of the stuff, some of the stuff. They like to dabble in some of that weed, that drugs. Some people do drugs, right? Some teenagers, when you're young, you do drugs. I know plenty of people who've done drugs in their lifetime. Not like the hardcore stuff, but like mushrooms and weed and all that kind of stuff. Dolphins as teenagers kind of do that too. When they're a group of teenage dolphins, they'll, swim around and, they're like, hey, man, maybe we should get high, man. So they're like, yeah, but like, how do we? So they'll go and they'll find a pufferfish. And the pufferfish, the poor thing, they will annoy the crap out of this pufferfish until it puffs up. And once it puffs up, it has little spikes and stuff. And fun fact, they produce toxins. So pufferfish are very poisonous, or toxic. And they can be very deadly, especially in humans. If you eat their poison, you will die. It's very, very toxic. Dolphins, on the other hand, they're like, yo, man, like, they are kind of into the harder stuff, right? Because that's all they have. They're kind of into like the hard drugs, because this is a life or death game for them too. It's very dangerous, but they will puff it up and then they will put the pufferfish in their mouth, and they'll allow that toxin to get them high. And then once they're high enough, they'll pass it on to the next dolphin, and then the next dolphin will pass it on. So they get a high. So yeah, dolphins can get high. Dolphins do drugs. That's the fun fact. Hi, Steel. Welcome in. You're at the end of the stream here. Another fun fact. This is my favorite fact to tell people. I knew about this. So they have this thing called half-brain sleep. The scientific term is called unihemispheric slow wave sleep. Do you know what this is? Have you heard about it? Or it sounds like you know. So
yeah, sleep with the one eye open.
Yeah. So dolphins breathe, but they have to think about every breath that they're breathing. For humans, we don't have to think of that. We are just, you don't have to go, okay, breathe in, now breathe out. Breathe in, now breathe out. Like we don't
cast manual breathing.
Yeah. We are not manual breathers. We are automatically, we don't have to think about it. We can fall asleep, no problem. Our body's conscious will we keep doing it. They can't. And because of that, that's gonna cause thanks for the fucking manual breathing, Liz. Yeah. So we don't have to keep thinking about that. So, but they do, and that's a problem because they need to sleep, right? So what they do
Yep.
is they have the unihemispheric slow wave sleep method. And what this means is that they can shut off half of their brain while the other half stays awake. So sometimes it will look like the dolphin's winking at you, but the side that has the eye closed, that side is sleeping and the other side is awake. And they swap between the two sides. And that's how they sleep. And that's how they can continue breathing. That's not impressive. I do that at work daily. Shut up, Steel. Oh my god. You're not thinking about it. You're not going in, out, in, out. So that dolphin wasn't hitting on me? No, unfortunately. But yeah, this is like a fun fact. I always like to tell people this because it's so fascinating. They're like one of the few animals that can do that, which is so cool. So I'm really impressed, Var, that you knew that. Louder. See? You did know something. You didn't know that they were mammals, but at least you knew about the half-brain sleep method, okay? Like, listen, that's awesome that you knew that. So as we mentioned, you know, a little bit a while ago, one of you guys asked about names, like, oh, can a trainer, like, can they be like, come here, Zach, come here, and Zach would swim over? Not quite. We do commands, so we do like hand signals, and that lets them know what we need. And they have a whistle, so they will whistle to let that dolphin know, hey, I need you over here. Hey, I need you to do this. So there is like a special whistle for them to train them to like listen. But dolphins, even though we have names for them, right? So like, for instance, like Kasik and Zach and Dazzle, those are our human names for them. But dolphins do have signature whistles that is their name. So as you can see here, like Var is Varseal's, that's Varseal's name. But I, as the human trainer, I'm like, come here, Lucy. And, you know, obviously Varseal has a very different name. But they have individual names that they give each other. And they get it from birth. And that's how they know, like, who's who is the signature whistle. So dolphins do have names. We just don't know what their names are because we don't understand dolphin language. So, but that's a really cool one. And there we are.
Wow.
Ta-da! And that is the end of the presentation. Lucy, I just was showing you guys and also happy debut, Far. Lucy's just to show me like I call, you know, Kasik, but Kasik could have a completely different name. It could be Vanessa, you know, like who, like, I don't know. So if I'm whistling in general, would they respond to it? Yeah, some will be curious, but if they don't know you, so you have to build the bond with dolphins. So it's not like you can whistle and that will get their attention. You have to, like, they have to know you. You have to like build a bond with them. They're not gonna come over to some stranger. They may like check you out, being like, what you doing there? But they're not gonna follow your direction. So you do have to build a very, very strong bond. And how to build that bond for them to listen is food motivation. They love food. They love rewards. So that's like the biggest way. So dolphin training is a whole, yeah, like that is a lot of bonding. It's a lot of work before you can get to being a dolphin trainer. It's like crazy hard to become a dolphin trainer. They love buffalo wings. No, they don't. Still.
I don't.
Yeah,
nope.
See? What did you say about my mama? Yeah, exactly. But the one that I fed did. Well, yeah, because they're trained to like when like a dolphin trainer, they'll have you do stuff like they know when to like interact with other people too. But that's because they know the trainer they're working with will feed them. So they you know, they will. But don't feed animals anything that's not regular food. Don't feed them. Is dolphin obesity a thing? Yeah, they can get fat. They have to have a certain amount of food that they have to eat daily.
Yep.
And they have to work, like, exercise too. So they can. They kind of fell off the boat. Oh, well, be careful. Don't feed them things that they shouldn't eat. Because that can actually, a chicken wing could have killed them. So, like, you can actually, it could have killed that dolphin because bones and all that, like chicken bones, can actually be, because it's not normal for them to eat. So, hate porpoises, it's like on site. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, no, dolphins hate a lot of things. But there you go, Far. Did you learn a lot?
Maybe.
Navy? What do you mean Navy? Like now that I've gone through this whole kind of lecture, like what's going on? Like what's your thoughts? Like do you have a better appreciation? Are you like, "Oh god, dolphins are awful."
Oh no, I knew I'm a menace to society already.
I mean, yeah, you're great. You fit the bill very well. Dolphin is very fitting for you. Like what's your thoughts? Like, tell me about it.
I wish I had my loading symbol.
Aren't dolphins yes, they do. They do. Yeah, they're very very porn bastards, you know what I mean?
We didn't include that for safety reasons.
Yeah, yeah. It's dolphins and very violent. Yes. That's why don't touch a wild dolphin. Do not touch a wild dolphin. Please.
I do bite.
It's illegal to touch them anyways. Yes, but people still try to do it because they're like, "Oh, dolphin." Don't. People try to touch wild animals all the time. Don't do it. Don't. If you want to touch one, there's plenty of dolphin sanctuaries and people who work with them where you can touch a dolphin if you want. There are plenty of them. They are trained. The dolphins know that they can be touched. They know all this stuff. I'm going to touch this Portuguese man of war. Oh, I've seen people touch them, and it's like, oh, God. High is 250 in Jamaica and 3 in the Bahamas. These are the pirates of the Caribbean. Oh my god. Hi, Quash. Welcome in, Quashy. Oh my god. Just feed them fried. Don't feed them fried pickles. Don't feed them at all. Do not feed the wildlife. Do not touch the wildlife. Do not feed the wildlife. Look at them from a distance, a safe distance. Okay? Oh my god. Oh god. How am I doing? We just finished up learning about dolphins today. And Var was going to tell us, was there any fun facts that you learned about them that you didn't know that you're like, "Oh, this was a really cool fact." Did any of that information stick in your head?
They're almost extinct.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're half right. Yeah, you're halfway there. There's certain ones.
Well, it's like the fin marks I kind of knew.
Mm-hmm. You learned that they're not fish.
Okay, listen.
Yeah, they have fridges to keep their genitalia cold. Yeah. So that interweb of
I don't care how big the room is. I said I cast fireball.
Okay. Oh lordy. Okay. Hello.
That's a lot of wrong buttons there.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, so like to keep the male genitalia cold because it's tucked up in there. They have the cold blood in their body circulates over that to keep it cool in that little sac there, so it keeps the temperature down for them. It's really fascinating. So all the cold blood goes there. It's very fascinating. They have they have refrigerated. Yeah. They pretty much have a little fridge. That's where I can keep the leftover fried pickles. No! Could I pick a number? Sure. Oh my god.
Huh?
Well, you learned about telling what's male and female. How many pages? 35.
Yeah.
35. And then, you learned about the dolphin identification. 20? Oh, God. I don't even know which one's 20. Oh, God. Anything else that you learned about?
No.
Oh, it's Kasik. There you go. You don't remember anything else?
Well, you said anything you learned. I'm like,
Wait, you know all this information?
Maybe.
Oh, so you were just lying to me that you didn't know any of this information? When you were like, when
What?
I asked you, oh, do you know this? You're like, I don't know. I knew most of it. Yeah, dolphins are pretty known animals.
Maybe 80% of it.
Okay. I was like, what? I'm like, there's no way you
Like-
knew some of this other stuff. Like, a lot of it is pretty, like, but you didn't know about the melon. Or
Yeah, I didn't know the melon.
echolocation. You knew echolocation, but you didn't know. Did you know about the
So-
hollow jawbone?
No.
See?
So I did say echolocation, but I don't know if my mic picked it up.
Oh, maybe. I don't think I heard that.
Oh crap! What was the other thing? I didn't know how they got the fresh water.
Yeah. I know dolphins have better IQ than humans. Yeah, they have about the same. Yeah, they're about the
Yeah.
same. How many main characters in media have been a dolphin? Games, movies, etc. There's a famous dolphin named Nellie. She was the oldest dolphin to ever live. She lived to be 64. She was in a Rolex or Rodex, I think is what it was called. She was in a commercial there. I didn't know what it was called a melon or how it worked. They just, it's a fatty tissue, just a fatty bunch of fat in their forehead.
I was
It's
gonna
squishy.
say.
Echo is a famous dolphin starred in multiple video games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Rogue. They got a T for it. Oh my. No, they don't. But there you go. So now you know a little bit more about dolphins. So you have a better appreciation for dolphins.
Same.
Same? Oh my god. Oh my god. You mean I
What?
have to go digging deeper and I have to go very specific about what kind of...
Wait, no, hold on.
Do you have a favorite dolphin now?
Can I be biased?
Sure.
Me.
What type of dolphin are you?
Common.
Ah, the one I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Maybe we need to do a PowerPoint about the common dolphin. Bottlenose are very cool. Well, chat, we're at the end here. You know what time it is. It's time to pick the next animal that we want to learn about for next week.
Also, I need to really go and eat because I've been yelled at like 7 times.
Yes, so Var, go and get some food. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this. I hope you had a great time.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I might have been half distracted joking with chat during the sessions.
That's okay. That's okay. Wow, you're like, maybe I enjoyed your stream. Maybe. Wow. Okay. You're never invited again then.
What?
But you go
But
get
Kirby.
some food, okay? But Kirby. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it.
It's like I don't know if I could. Oh, I can. Wah!
Why? All right, chat. Alrighty, chat. Okay, so we have lobsters. I only know 2 dolphins. Slipper the dolphin, the one from the first Ace Ventura films. True. Can we do Reaper Leviathan? Yeah, we could do Reaper. So we have bottlenose, lobster. Oh no, wait, no, not bottle. Sorry, we have Reaper Leviathan, lobster. All right, pick 3 more, chat. Which one? What do you want to learn about for next week? And also, chat, I hope you had a great time learning as well. Axolotl. Okay, hermit crab, crabs. Okay. All right. Seahorses. Okay, we'll do seahorses. There we go. Because crabs and hermit crabs are kind of the same. Okay, so I have the 5. So, Sir Big Cat, are you typing it up or do you want me to type it up? We got lobster, Reaper Leviathan, axolotl, crabs, or crustaceans. We could do crustaceans and seahorses. The bobbit worm, the freaky thing. We got the 5 already, Steel, but thank you for that. Next week you could vote for that, or you could put it in the ring again. And also, if there's like an animal that you really want that no one has asked, like if it didn't win this week, you can always keep doing it for next week because chat may want to, you know. Or if I feel like it, I may just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go do this. So, but what did you guys have a good, was this a good lecture? I'm sorry, this went a little longer than normal. This went like 2 hours, which is pretty long. I don't know. You don't know. I kind of missed it. Oh, that's true. You weren't there. Kids enjoyed it. Good. It was nice. Don't mind any spelling mistakes. 5 minutes to answer. All right, guys, vote for what you want to learn about for next week. No, that makes sense, Steel. I forgot. You came in at the end there. Make sure to vote. Oh, lobsters are winning by 3. Bring out the dancing lobsters. Lobsters? Yeah, lobsters. Well, there you guys go. That was our guest, Varseal, who just debuted, as well as their beautiful model, as you can see here. That was a good time. Ooh. Oh, Reaper, Leviathan, and Lobster are tied. Uh-oh. Tell them to bring... Oh, wow, the Amanda Show reference. I'm so glad you got it. I'm so glad. No idea. Keep it at the end. Well, good news, Rogue. And, you know, Steel, if you guys missed it, you can, you know, watch the VOD for later on. Because I have not been able to edit these because it's been really difficult for me. So I do apologize. I can't believe they did a Hannah Montana reunion show. Oh, shit. Amanda Bynes fell off hard. I know. Poor Amanda. She was great. But yeah, no, the Amanda Show was my favorite. Bring out the dancing lobsters. From Hillary Duff. Oh, Hillary Duff is doing great. All right, guys. Lobsters and Reaper Leviathan are tied right now. I have thalassophobia. Ooh. Rough. All right, guys. Who's gonna win? Reaper Leviathan or Lobster? Man, these are 2 really just like... that's from All That. I think Amanda Bynes hosted. Yes. There was the Amanda Bynes show. The Amanda Show. And then All That. I do remember that. From the Judge Judy parrot. Yes, yep. My daughter said lobster. Okay. You might have to, Sir Big Cat. You might have to. Okay, we have a tie between Lobster and Reaper Leviathan. Guys gotta start picking. Is that the deep ocean fear or is that a ton of holes? That's the deep ocean. So that's deep ocean. No, she changed it to seahorses. Oh, okay. She changed it to seahorses. Wow. Hurry, chat, the ads are gonna start. Oh my god, wait, I gotta snooze them because we're about the I fear oceans. Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you about the oceans. Also, hi, Happy. Welcome in. I'm gonna teach you that they're not as bad as you think they are. They're pretty cool. Pretty fascinating. You don't have to go into the ocean, and that's fine. If you want to learn about the ocean and why it's important, in a safety, in a safe way, we're here for you. We got you. We learned beaches are bad. No, beaches are not bad. Beaches are not bad. Don't say that. Fascinating and safe. Yeah, nice. Yes, here. Like, I'm not taking you to the ocean, okay? Like, I'm not gonna be like, okay, chat, you gotta go in the ocean right now. We're gonna learn about it. No, I bring the ocean to you. You don't have to go near it. Like, you don't have to be in it. I take it here. As you can see, it's anime booba women. Liz, I'm old. Dolphins, yeah, but a dolphin with thalassophobia. Listen, I mean, you have hair and 2 melons, so. All right, guys, hurry. We need one more vote to break it. So do dolphins drink milk? Yes, they do. They're mammal. They have mammary glands, and they produce their own milk. So dolphins do drink milk when they're young, as calves. Eventually, they wean off of it, but, They retired Miss Frizzled. No, Miss Frizzled's retired. No. How dare they? All right, who's going to win? Lobster, Reaper, Leviathan? It's at a tie. Quick vote. Be the tiebreaker, chat. Be the tiebreaker. Could you make cheese from dolphin milk? Probably, but I don't know. It's her younger sister on the show now. Oh my god, Lobster. Well, vote. Make sure to vote in the poll. Make sure to vote in the poll. It's 3-3 right now, neck and neck. Sir Big Cat, you gotta put your vote in now. You have to be the tiebreaker. Someone voted axolotl, which... Oh, Lobster wins! All right. All right, chat. Dolphin means dolphin mozzarella, which means dolphin mozzarella sticks, and I'll sell those for $45 a basket. Oh my god. If I have to change my vote, I switch to lobster. Tell them to bring out the lobster. Yeah, we're bringing out the lobsters. All right? We got the lobster class for next Friday. At the same time, chat, it's going to be at 5 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to be teaching next class about lobsters. So there you are. We're gonna also be streaming tomorrow. We're gonna do some Stardew Valley, and that's gonna be at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So the lipster, the lobster. Now I can bring my lobster friend to next week. The lobster. I do know lobsters are effectively immortal. Yay. Lipster, the lobster. Lisbister, the lobster runs in our... Oh my god. I'm done with you, chat. I'm done with you. Y'all crazy. All right. Y'all crazy. Okay. So let's see who we are gonna raid into today. Who do we... Ren! Thanks for learning. Yeah, no worries. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. We're gonna run into my friend Ren Taro. Ren is a homie and he's streaming and he's amazing. So we're gonna go raid into him. Thank you everybody for joining me. Here are the raid messages for the subs and the non-subbed. So there you go. There you go, chat. Thank you everyone who's watching on the YouTube side. I will see you all, tomorrow if you want to join. For my Twitch viewers, we're going to raid. But on that note, thank you everybody for joining, and I hope to see you all for tomorrow's stream. And I hope, you're ready to learn about lobsters for next Friday. All right? Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.